two beautiful people. Come to YouTube. Head to YouTube. Hello, 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 beautiful people. I hope you guys are ready for tonight. I have a special treat for you all. A very, very special treat, okay? I come bringing friends, men and women who want to give their input on the dating scene. Uh-oh. So we're here to shake the room, have a respectful conversation, okay? And just hear everyone's viewpoints. All right? We have men and women coming up, okay? I'm going to put the link in the chat now. Thank you guys. Brother New, you can come up now. I put the link in the chat. I don't know if you see it. I put the link in the chat. So I'm going to bring everyone up. Ladies down below, are you ready? Sheena, Jess, Simone, welcome in, ladies. Hello, hello, hello. If you're on TikTok right now, please head over to YouTube, beautiful people. Y'all don't want to miss this. Y'all don't want to miss this. This is going to be good. Welcome in. Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second, you guys. Let me. Okay. So I am going to bring the people up. Hold on. Okay, no. I don't know who this person is. Okay. Hello, Simone.
Hey, Ash.
Hello, Jess.
Hi.
Hello, Sheena.
Hi.
Welcome in, ladies. Hello,
Thank
hello,
you.
hello. How's everyone feeling tonight?
I'm
Amazing.
good. Let's get it.
Perfect, perfect. So I'm going to go around. I'm going to ask everyone to introduce themselves. Give me your name. You can choose to tell your age or not, okay? The city you're in, whether you're dating, you're single, or you're married, or you're in a situationship, okay? So those are the questions.
Okay. So I'll go first. My
Okay.
name is Sheena. I don't choose to tell my age right now. Yes, I am dating. And what was
Okay.
the other question, Ashley? I'm sorry.
Okay. What city are you in?
Oh, I live in Chicago.
Okay, you live in Chicago. Okay, perfect, perfect. All righty. Who do we have up next? Welcome, Brother New.
Peace, peace, Ashley. How you doing? How's it going?
Good, good. Okay, Jess, you're up next.
Yes. So, hi, everybody. I'm Jessica, Jess Black on Instagram. I live in Atlanta and I am single. I was married for a long time, divorced, and now I'm playing the dating scene.
Okay, nice, nice. Okay. Next up, we have Simona.
Hey everyone, my name is Simone Harris. I'm not gonna say my age because y'all gonna say how old y'all think I am anyways. Um, I live in Los Angeles, California. I'm currently in Atlanta at the moment. And I got a little bit of everything going on. So I'm not single, but I'm not married, but I don't got a situationship. I got a little bit of, a lot going on. We'll talk about it.
Okay. All right, Brother New, we know you just joined, so give us your name, your location. Are you single, dating, or in a relationship? And
Okay.
what city you're in?
So my name is New. Some people call me Brother New. Either one, I'll accept. I'm 38 years old. I live in the suburbs of New Orleans. I'm a single man. I'm out on the dating market. I'm looking for Mrs. Gamba as we speak.
Okay, perfect, perfect. So we're gonna go around. I'm gonna ask you guys a few questions around dating.
Okay.
And again, I want everyone to be respectful. I don't want us to talk over each other. So let people finish their thought before, we interrupt or say anything. Is that fair, everyone?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, okay. So the first question is, I think everyone here on the panel is single for the most part. How is dating for you in 2024? What is that like for you? What are some of the challenges?
Well, I would say for me, dating in 2024 is very interesting, especially because I was in a relationship for so long. This is something that is completely new. So yeah, how do I explain this? The roles have definitely changed, right? A lot of men, and I'm trying to watch my words here. So the roles are definitely changed. It's not as traditional as it was in our parents' days or whatnot.
Mhm.
A lot of things that are allowed for women are also allowed for men, right? So I find it a little bit challenging to find someone that has the same mindset as me or that's available and willing to receive what I have to offer them, right? So
Mhm.
here in Atlanta, it's extremely challenging. And I've only been here a couple of months. I moved from Canada to here, and I hear it a lot where there's, 10 women to one man. So a lot of women accept the role of being a side chick or what that is not for me. So I'd rather be single than to have to share somebody. So I've realized that that is also the new norm where people do not want to have titles to their situationships. And it's just not for me. So it's been challenging, I would say.
Okay, so you would say one of the challenges in dating, I want to say in Atlanta, is that you feel like maybe in your experiences or your experience that a lot of men are not 100% single. Is that what I'm hearing?
That is correct. That is exactly what I'm saying.
Okay,
And yeah.
okay. All right. Thank you, Jess. Who do we have up next?
So I'll go next. So I'll have to say I definitely agree with her. I just started dating again. Um, so I'm not that old, but back in my day, like you were talking to someone for not even a week or two, and you've already established. So the
I think, are we frozen? Okay, maybe she's frozen.
title, what this is, and so it's either we're together or we're not together. So I feel like, and that's just not with my opinion, that's other women that I know that it's like, okay, what are we, or a situationship type of vibe. So that's
Mhm.
what I would have to say. Like the difference is now versus then is just like you don't know what you are, and and me personally, I just feel like after a while, like I'm gonna end up ending it if you don't know what
Right.
it is. Yeah.
So do you feel like a lot more men in your experience want to be in situationships? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of, well, I'm not gonna say all men, but some men, without giving that title, they may go through the actions of a relationship, but not wanting to fully establish, and that might be because they are not wanting to be 100% committed.
Okay.
That's what I'm thinking.
Okay. Alrighty. Brother New.
So today's excuse me, today's dating market, in my opinion, is very interesting. Even for a person like myself, with my level of emotional intelligence, it still gets a bit tricky sometimes. There's still some scenarios out here in today's dating scene where I catch a few stray bullets. So I would tell anybody to do your best to be your best, right? Do your best to be your best, and that in itself will help filter out a lot of the BS. But it's definitely interesting, as somebody mentioned before. Dating was a lot simpler 20 years ago. Before the advent of social media, things were literally real simple.
Mhm.
Do you like me or do you want to be my, check yes or check no?
Yeah.
I literally still have some of my love letters from high school. Do you like me? Yes or no? It was literally that simple. From then
Mhm.
on, I mean, you were for the most part in a monogamous relationship. It was literally that simple 20 years ago. But now today, it's complicated. There's a lot of gray area that I feel like we as men and women are playing in.
Okay. So I guess the challenge for you is you're saying that I guess women are playing games. Is that what I'm hearing?
Well, I say both genders. There's a bit of a gray area because there's resistance on the men's side and there's also resistance on the women's side. Today's dating market is a bit challenging and you have to factor in things, right? Once you get our age, I presume everybody here is in between the age of 35 and 45. I'm 38. When you get our age, this dating market gets scary. As I tell people younger than me, go to school and find a husband. Go to school, find a wife. When you get in your 30s, this shit gets spooky. Once you get 35, it just gets scary because you're dealing with so much emotional trauma and additions onto the person that you're attempting to date. And when I say addition, I mean, are you divorced? Do you have children? Who do you live with? Where do you work? All of these things that you must factor in because they go in and add and subtract the quality of the person that's in front of you.
Okay. All right. Simone, what are some of the challenges you think that comes with modern dating?
Kind of like what everyone else was saying. People don't know what they want to be. It's a lot of situationships out here. A lot of people want to just play games. I know that in the Black community, it's a lot of people that's dealing with like childhood traumas and stuff that haven't really sat down to, deal with that and heal. So a lot of people are just have trust issues. They have, they don't even know who they are. They haven't really figured out who they were. And I just feel like in our community, dating is non-existent. So ever since I started dating outside of my race, I found more success. So I haven't really had to deal with situationships and, the games and, asking, where are we? I feel like a woman shouldn't even have to ask, where do we? A man should present that offer to the woman. So.
Okay. Alrighty. Andre, is that how I pronounce your name?
Yes, Ashley. Yes, it is.
Okay, perfect. Welcome in. And can you give us your response to this question?
Yeah, thank you for having me. Hello, ladies. Hello, Ashley.
Hi.
To give you background, 42, business owner, was once married, live in Atlanta from New York. I think the current dating status is what you make it and what you accept. If you don't want a situationship, don't do it. I think there's a lot of more women than men, but trying to get the person that they want to want them on the level that they want to be wanted by. So instead of picking who wants you, I think there's a lot more, and social media has a lot to do with this. I want XYZ. Okay, they're lukewarm about me. I'm going to try to raise their lukewarmness to a full-on relationship. I think that's what's stifling a lot of the commitment out here. But most of my friends are married. About 80% are at least in a long-term relationship. And I have friends even in my later 20s. So I think if we pick who wants us, the ratio would change from the situationship to dating to commitment of any race.
Yeah, that's true. I think that's very true. And I think most people want who doesn't want them. I think that is the case. But I did see, Brother New, you did chuckle a little bit when Simone mentioned interracial dating. Do you have thoughts around that?
Yeah, well, so, okay, and I'll preface this. Whenever I'm dealing with a person, I come in good faith, right? So what that means is, with me, you're innocent until proven guilty. When you're dealing with me, or when I'm dealing with a woman, I put my best foot forth, and I show up as my best self, and I expect the person to do the same. So whenever I have a conversation with a woman, I start off with very basic questions. Hey, how's it going? My name is New. I'm 38 years old. I live in New Orleans. I do this for a living. I'm super, super simple. Then I'll ask the question. Hey, how old are you? What's your name? Blah, 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 blah. So when the sister said earlier, and correct me if I'm wrong, Simone, you didn't mention your age, correct?
No, but I'm in my 20s still.
Fair enough. So the first thing I caught was Simone didn't mention her age. I was like, okay, cool. So then after that, it was like, well, I'm not going to tell you how old I am. I'm in a situationship. and I'm a swirler. So when I add those three things in a pot and stir it up, I'm like, oh, like if we were sitting, let's say we were doing speed dating, I'd be like, oh shit. Like, and you're an attractive sister physically, but I also listen. And I'm like, this one this may be something. So I laugh because it was like, okay, that's three. So you won't tell me your age, you're in a situationship, and you're a swirler. So okay, this is gonna be interesting. So that's why I laughed.
I want to ask this. How many people here on the panel date outside of their race? Okay,
I would date a Hispanic woman. That's as far as
Okay.
So that's outside the race.
Afro Latin?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interculturally.
I
Okay.
haven't, but I am open to it. Whoever loves me and I love them, I believe it would be fine. But I've never dated outside of my race.
Yeah, I haven't either.
Right.
I've dated outside of my race. I growing up in school and whatnot, I've dated outside of my race.
Okay, Sheena, have you?
No.
Okay. All right.
And to give some more context, Ashley, in my early 30s, I dated the first white woman I ever dated as an adult. Very good woman, but I felt guilty, so I broke it off.
Why did you feel guilty?
I feel that I can put my energy towards Black woman, African woman, Caribbean woman.
Okay. All right. Let me ask everyone here, would you date yourself?
Ooh.
Everyone is
Yes.
single. Would you
That's a
date
good
yourself?
one.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely. Yes.
So, okay, that's honest. And why is that? I'm gonna ask whether you said yes or no. Why would you date yourself, or why wouldn't you date yourself?
I'll start. I would date myself because I've been taking the time to really sit down and heal my childhood traumas. If you guys know, back a few months ago, I was on Ashley page, and I was just basically saying like I was dating like older white men outside of my race, and I realized that the reason I was doing that was because I had a lot of childhood traumas that I never sat down to deal with. I had a lot of abandonment wounds, a lot of fear of rejection, fear of being seen, just a bunch of different things within myself that I had to really sit down and dig deep and heal. And I've been doing that for the past few months. And so I feel like now, because I know who I am, that I would definitely date myself because I actually love myself now. I wouldn't just settle with someone just for money or for material gains. And like I said, when you do the work on yourself, you love yourself more. A lot of people don't sit down and do that work on themselves. So they don't even know how to love themselves. So if you don't know how to love yourself, you can't love anyone else. So.
Okay.
That's
Sheena?
very good. And just, sorry.
Jess, go ahead, Jess. Yeah.
Yes, that's very good what you said, Simone. You know, in order to love somebody else, you have to love yourself. So for me, my answer is yes, absolutely, I would date myself. Because a lot of time, what is the general question? What do you bring to the table? I am the table. I literally am the table, right? So just like Simone, I've done the work. As I said, I was in a marriage. I left that marriage because I chose myself, because I knew and realized my worth at the end of that marriage, and realized that I wanted something better for me, right? So I went to therapy, I did the work, and dating myself, I'm someone that's a great communicator. I'm an Aquarian. I think Aquariuses are just the best, but we have great personalities. I have a bubbly personality, but at the end of the day, there's nothing that we can't talk about. And when I approach a relationship, I approach it in that way. Let's build a solid foundation. Let's build a solid friendship and build from that. They say it all the time, communication is key. It's very cliche, but it is important. And I believe that I am a great communicator, and that, will stand any test. So because I base my relationships on that and also respect, that's very important. Because of that, yes, I would date myself.
Okay, thank you, Jess. All right, brother New, you said you wouldn't date yourself. Why is that?
Absolutely not. And it's because essentially I want the opposite of me. I'm a hard worker. I work 7 days a week. I prefer a housewife. I'm not looking for a boss babe. I'm an asshole. I'm outspoken. I would rather my woman be soft, sweet, and feminine. Okay? I know that sometimes I can be a bit outspoken. Like, I don't want to deal with a woman who's outspoken because I'm outspoken. I don't want to deal with a woman who's hot headed, right? Because I'm hot headed. If I'm a hot headed person, if I go out and I work, I own my company. I'll get aggravated with my workers. Like, I need somebody to just give me a hug when I get home, right? So that's why I said I wouldn't date myself, because like I need the opposite of me for there to be some sort of balance. Like, I'm not looking for any sort of like I said, boss babe power couple, no dynamic like that. Like, give me a girl who works at Starbucks. That's good enough for me, because I don't need you to be my motivation. I just want to go to work, come home, and get a hug and get a plate of gumbo. That's more than enough for me. So that's why, based on that,
You know what? I do hear that a lot from men. Like, all a woman needs is to be like beautiful or in shape and young and youthful, right? And she can work at the Starbucks or like a retail shop. So sometimes I wonder then why are so many like men single? Because there are beautiful women who work at Starbucks or Burger King. Why are those men still available?
you
I think
said,
only men with money use that line, Ashley. So
Okay.
you hear that line
Well,
from
yeah,
me.
those men with money and yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
so you said, why are the men single or why are the women single?
Why the men single? I mean, if like for yourself, you're saying she can work at Starbucks, she doesn't need to make her own money, sort of thing, then that's easy to find, because there's beautiful women at CVS, the drugstore, that kind of thing.
So let me say this. Now, 15
Hmm.
years ago, this wouldn't be a problem. But today, you have to look at what a woman is aspiring to be. So today, yeah, there are beautiful women who work at Starbucks for sure. There are beautiful women who work at CVS, but you still have to vet them. If she's a beautiful woman who works at CVS, but she listened to Lotto, if she listened to Meg The Stallion, if she's somewhere twerking, that disqualifies her. You understand what I'm saying? So there are things that you look at that would be considered qualities that you would hope to have in a woman, but there are also other things that could eliminate a woman. And I say today, one of the biggest things that eliminate a lot of women who 15 years ago they would have been married for sure, the level of promiscuity. We live in a prostitute culture today. Everything is very transactional. So 15 years ago, you had the girl working at Starbucks, super sweet, laid back, chill, humble. Now today, again, the girl who works at Starbucks, once she takes off her Starbucks uniform, she going off the top, some thigh high shorts, and she asking for cash apps. She's telling me that she want to go to STK. She wants to go to Salt Bay restaurant. Like, you have women again who used to be super super humble, but today everybody's trying to do the Meg The Stallion, the Cardi B, the Lotto thing. So again, I run across that for sure. I can tell you, but yeah, for sure.
But I think that comes with it a little bit. Like, I think a man is looking for someone who's young, beautiful, in shape, and in exchange, you're financially stable, responsible, and you can do all the things. In exchange for her beauty and her being on your arm,
For sure,
saying, "This is my girl. She's a 10, a perfect 10."
for sure, for sure. Now let me also preference one more thing.
Hmm.
For me myself, and it should really be this way across the board for men my age. At this point of the game, I'm looking for a wife. So I'm only going to deal with women who I can send through a vetting process. There are people who I might have entertained 10 years ago, but today, if I don't think you could be my wife, I'm not going to date you. So everything is more of like a vetting process. That's a little bit stricter. The bar for dating or just messing with the girl, that bar is a little bit lower. But again, I'm out wife shopping. So It's not to say that my expectations are too high, but the promiscuity thing, that thing right there, I don't understand why regular everyday women, square women who go to work 40 hours a week, why they do this like I said, this promiscuity thing. You go to a lot of women's house, they got stripper poles in their front room. Like, if you work a job 40 hours a week, why do you have a stripper pole in your front room? Why are you twerking? Why are you twerking on the internet? You work a job. Leave that for the prostitutes. Leave that for the strippers. The lines are just blurred today. So that gets a bit complicated.
Well, I understand that men don't want a woman that doesn't get around. Like, I can understand that part. But I don't believe that a man wants 100% of a good girl. I think that's a complete lie. I think you want some spice. You want a little action. You know what I mean? So I can't say 100% like good girl. I could be wrong, but I don't know.
Well, mind you, I said posting it on the internet. You can share cash all you want in the privacy of your home. That's no problem. But when you post it on the internet, when you put it out there to the world, that's when it becomes a problem. And in most cases, if you like, babe, listen, why would you do that? Like, if you're my lady, be working and then making it public. A lot of times you're going to get pushback, you're going to get resistance. It's like, what do you do in that situation? You understand what I'm saying? If you say, hey, listen, babe, can you please take that twerk video down? ask men how that conversation goes. Hey, can you please take that twerk video down since we're in a relationship? Ask men how that conversation goes.
I was involved with a woman, my last serious relationship, and I loved how she worded this. She's like, all right, what's the theme for tonight? Michelle Obama, or I think it was Cardi B. Yes, Cardi B or Michelle Obama. So she had the duality. She knew that I like the duality, and she knew how to switch it up.
Okay, that's fair. Does anyone else want to chime in?
I was going to say, do you guys think that men have something to do with women being promiscuous on the internet?
Absolutely.
Do you men take any type of accountability or role in that?
Absolutely not. Because here's the thing. Any and everything gets attention, right? If someone takes a shit on the ground, it'll get attention. But from who? It'll get attention from flies. The women who have that high level of promiscuity, they also have trauma stories to go along with that. You take a look at those women, take a look at their lives when they cut the camera off. Or they're married. What's their living situation? You understand what I'm saying? Are their children out of wedlock? When you take a look at their lives off the camera, it all lines up. This woman has had a ton of trauma. Women who twerk on the internet, not all, but a lot of them. Women who twerk on the internet, they have multiple children out of wedlock. Those women are usually not living the best life. They're usually unwedded, right? So there are negative things that come along with that. And I think as a woman, you should evaluate, like, am I winning? Where does this leave me? Where does this level of promiscuity, where does this leave me? Where does this end up? Is any man taking me serious? Yeah, I get a lot of attention, but do they take me home to meet their mother? If I'm in a relationship, go ahead. I don't mean to be long-winded.
Oh, I'm sorry. And I was going to say, I think that's where a lot of women, you hit a good point, because a lot of women get attention and respect mixed up. A lot of women be on the internet twerking and half naked, so they're getting a lot of comments, they're getting a lot of views, and they think, oh, you're doing their thing, but they're not being respected. And I think it's because, and that's where I'm like, do men take accountability, because they're giving the women that attention?
Yeah, but, so they assume that that's what you should be doing. Mm-hmm. I agree.
When you go look at the twerk videos, go look at the comments. It's more women complimenting them than men. And the men who are complimenting them, it's the men that those women wouldn't breathe in their direction in real life. So as far as anybody taking any level of accountability, it has to be on the women. Another thing also, I say 7 days a week, women are smarter than men. Women are smarter than men. A woman knows what type of attention she's getting. When a guy looks at a woman and says, I want you to be my wife, or a guy looks at a woman and say, I want you to be my bitch. Women know the difference in the energy. There's a different level of energy. When a man wants to court you, when a man wants to wife you, there's a different level of energy than if a man wants to sleep with you the first night. And again, I say that women are smarter than men. They know the difference. But for whatever reason, today, that prostitute energy, that stripper energy, for whatever reason, that's the energy that the women tend to gravitate toward.
Because it's
So I just
glamorized.
want to say
Agree with that. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead, dear.
I was going to say I don't agree with that 100% because there are women that are not doing that at all. And the men that they meet are not, up to, I would say up to par. So I say it really just depends because you can not be
factors.
Yeah. Multiple factors that play into that. Yeah.
So just
and then also the men
with all due respect.
Sorry.
Mm-hmm. No, go ahead. No, finish your.
I was going to say also, it also depends on when you mention the comments, it depends on the page that you're following because sometimes I'll be nosy and I'll see if I see a certain comment, I'll go on their page and they presume to have it together. So there are men that make certain comments that look like they do have it together because I know that you said that majority of the men that make those comments towards women that may twerk or may put themselves out there like that. I say it's kind of like 50-50. It really just depends.
Okay, let's say it's 100. Let's say somebody makes a twerk video and you have a doctor who likes and comments, an engineer who likes and comments, an NFL player, and a soccer. Let's say it's all quality men. Now what?
It's not a what. I'm just going back to what you were saying when you said that the majority of the men were the ones that make those comments. That's all.
So I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to yell at you or nothing like that or be rude. I was saying
you weren't.
Even if it was quality men, and comment on your twerk video. Okay, cool. They liked it and comment. Now what? You still don't have a ring.
Right.
So nothing. Attention means nothing. Like I just said, you can go outside and take a shit on the ground. It'll get attention. Yeah. It's going to get attention. So
I guess I was just trying to point that out. I wasn't trying to, I guess, I was just trying to kind of negate the fact. But
and again, I'm sorry.
I get it.
I was combative because I wasn't trying to be at all.
You're cool. No, you're
so I just want to say this because
go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to say this because the way you were speaking is as if it's a generalization of the type of women that you've come across, right? And I would say that I wouldn't be surprised if you take someone, and no disrespect to anyone that works at Starbucks, right? You said you want someone to have time for you. You want a housewife, right? Well, that person that works 15-hour shifts at Starbucks may have that time to twerk and be online. And for that to be in the algorithm, that means that is probably something that you're looking at pretty often, you know what I'm saying? But if you get the boss chick that's actually working 40 hours a week, just like you, because she's also bringing the bread, she won't have time for that. So you kind of get what you're asking for at this point.
I'm not sure about that.
You got that from what I
think the boss chick might do the twerking more than or just as much as the other woman.
I don't know how you made that make sense in your mind, but fair enough. I disagree with that. At the end of the day, I don't speak in absolute. In society, to push society forward, there are 3 ways to communicate. You can communicate in individual terms. You can communicate in general terms, and you can communicate in absolute. The only way of speaking that pushes society forward is general terms. Generally speaking, it's hot in California. Generally speaking, it snows throughout the entire winter in New York. There are generalizations that we use as people to help push society forward. So if I told you to close your eyes and imagine a girl twerking online, and I told you that if I told you a girl was twerking online, right? And if I didn't told you it was a Muslim woman with a hijab on, that would be hard to imagine because your perception of a Muslim woman is usually a quieter woman, much more respectful, a much better presenter. She presents herself much better in public. Usually when you think of a Muslim woman, you think of a wife, you think of a mom. You don't think of Muslim women online twerking. And I'm just using that for example. But is there somewhere in society a Muslim woman twerking? Of course. But generally speaking, Muslim women don't behave like that. Generally speaking. Generalities help push society forward, and that's all I try to do, is just speak in general terms.
So let me ask this to you, or what qualities should women and men be looking for in a partner in 2024? What are some important qualities?
I think alignment. What works for, so Brother New's slightly more conservative than I am, right? We're close, but he's slightly more conservative than I am. But what's in alignment with you? So for me, food. I want her to be, I don't want to cook anything. I don't want to clean anything. She probably doesn't want to pay any of the mortgage either. All right, cool. Fair trade. Another guy who might need a woman to pay the mortgage, he might say, yo, I don't mind cooking. It's cool. But for me, the domesticated, organized, I run several firms and corporations, organized, help me out with my paperwork, make sure the house is in order, make sure my gear is in order, make sure the bills are paid. Of course, I'll be financing it. But organized, shapely, domesticated, kind, honest. I'm good to go.
Okay. All right.
Ladies?
Mm-hmm.
I want someone who has sat down and really looked at the shadow version of themselves. So I'm always going to talk about childhood traumas because I feel like childhood traumas is what shape people into adults. And that's why it's so much adversity between Black people or, Black relationships, because we've dealt with so much trauma stemming back from slavery. And so we just go generation and generation, and nobody really sits down to heal. So I want someone who has really sat down and faced their fears, faced all the darkness within themselves, and say, you know what? I'm going to break those generational curses. I'm going to figure out what it is that I need to do to learn how to communicate better, to learn how to raise a family, to learn how to just know themselves better. So yeah, someone who knows how to communicate, someone who has sat down and looked at the dark version of themselves. Yeah, I land my plane.
So I would have to say for me, a provider, someone who's fun, someone who's a communicator, someone who listens.
Can you give some examples of fun, Sheena? Am I saying your name correctly?
Yeah, that likes to travel,
Okay.
that likes to ski, that likes to try like different foods.
Have you been skiing before?
Yeah.
Okay.
For Valentine's Day, I went skiing.
Hard. Ooh, skiing is so hard.
It is, but I got on the bunny. I started on the bunny. What is that? The bunny hill, and then you have the small hill, and then you have the big hill. But yeah, I mean, I kind of like skiing. What else? Yeah, so someone who's fun, someone who's a good communicator, someone who tells me also, because I'm working on this, but I used to always think I was right. So I'm learning to, someone that can, kind of, tell me I'm not right, and have me kind of like think outside of the box. But I would have to say those qualities for right now.
How did you, if you don't mind me asking, how did you get to that point that you had that issue?
Because I remember a situation where I might have, okay, so I'm going to tell you. So I was dating, and you argue. And so a lot of times, like in that situation, without going into it, I thought I was right. And then when he kind of pointed out, certain things, I looked at it. I was quiet for a second, because sometimes I don't listen to, I used to listen to react, right? Not take it in.
But not understand.
Yeah. So I was in that situation where I'm like, okay, I'm not right. I am wrong. Or,
Sheena, and I jump in.
Okay.
Would you say that now that somebody can tell you if you're wrong, would you say that you're a much more accountable woman as well? Would you say that?
Yeah. I would say that I'm more accountable. Yeah.
And one last question. Is
Mhm.
being an accountable woman, is that a strength or a weakness?
Accountable?
Being an accountable woman, is that a strength or a weakness in your opinion?
I think it's a strength.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's a strength. Yeah. And then it
Because
kind
a
of
lot
makes
of women.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
It kind of makes the relationship better when you're willing to, just compromise and not always have to, get your point across or be open to listen. Yeah.
Mhm.
Or having to feel like you won the situation.
Bingo.
Thank
That's
you.
it.
I will also say someone who's not thriving in their ego, because kind of like what you're saying, Sheena, you're thriving in your ego, so you're not ready to take accountability. You feel like you always have to be right. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to, not always be right. It's okay to take accountability. So I think someone who's just not operating in that ego mindset would definitely make a good asset.
I think self-awareness could set a lot of people free. And like you said, Simone, so I think a hint of ego is good, right? A hint, but you have to be self-aware enough to know when you got to drop the ego. When people think that they're wrong and can't live with not being right, they typically lack self-awareness, and their life usually doesn't propel very much. I had a question actually. It's probably on your roster. We can get to it later. I just want to say what's on my mind. What does provision look like for women?
You said it.
Detail. So the rent's $2,000, the car note's $750, the insurance is $250, food is $450, trips every quarter are $3,000. Is it 100%? Is there a portion that women are looking to contribute? In your individual lives, what does that look like for you?
No, a man is the provider. A man should take care of everything.
Every
100%.
single thing. Cool. Got
Every
you.
single
And even if you're working or not working.
Absolutely, yeah.
Got you. How about you, Jess?
So for me, I don't believe in the 50-50. I don't. But I do believe in maybe a 70-30, 80-20, right?
Gotcha.
So for example, if you pay the mortgage and the car note and the insurance, well, no problem. You know what? I'll save for our annual trips, right? Our Europe trips. I'll do the groceries. I'll pay the cable bill, right? So I believe that the big bills should be paid by the man, and the women, like she saves the money, pay for the trips and whatnot. Ideally that's what I want, right? But the whole 50-50 where we have a $500 grocery bill and we split it down the middle, no, I'm not doing that. But I do believe that I do have to contribute some way, somehow, because I do work. I have a high paying job, and it would not be fair for me. The way I think is just not fair for the man to have to carry 100% of everything on their back, when especially our Black men have everything. They carry the world on their back. So you don't have to carry our whole family unit, right? But a 70-30, 80-20 is something that I think is reasonable for me and my relationship.
Well, are you men looking to provide when you're with the woman that you want?
So if I can answer, going back to Ashley's original question, going back to Ashley's original question, I believe you asked what sort of qualities do you look for in a partner? Is that the original question? So going back to that, for myself, I'm a real simple guy. Like I said, I work a lot. I just want to come home to a clean house, a bowl of gumbo, and a hug. I'm real simple. Just be there to support me emotionally, right? Be there to support me emotionally. Keep the house clean. If we have kids, keep the kids together and stuff like that. I'll pay all of the bills. Me personally, I voluntarily take on the lion's share of the load because I like to set the tone up front, and I want you to rest in your femininity, right? It's my job as a man to help your femininity flourish. So I have to set the tone. I have to set the tone by voluntarily being the lion's share of the load carrier. Now, whether that's 70-30, 80-20, or just 100%. I mean, I'm open to all of them. If you want to like more or less be a housewife, kind of run little errands for me, stuff like that, that's cool. I'll do 100%. You want to work a job, you want to throw in 10%, 20%, I'm cool with that. As long as a person isn't taking advantage of me, like, I'm perfectly fine with that. Like, I think, me personally, I think men should voluntarily take on the lion's share of the load. I don't think that men should go 50-50. I don't think so. It creates too much of an imbalance.
And I was going to say this before we move forward. I think it's important for a man to fully provide, because I'm thinking if you have children with this woman, how that relationship is like financially is only going to be an indication of how it's going to be when we have children. So I do think it's important for a man to fully provide. I don't know where I'm not saying you guys or anyone here, women or men on the panel, but it depends. I mean, I know everyone doesn't live a millionaire lifestyle or want to live in a penthouse or a big mansion, but I think whoever you're with, they should definitely fully provide if you're having children with them, for sure.
And if I can also answer the question of what I'm looking for, right? Because that kind of goes with that. So for me, I'm looking for someone, or what I want is someone that has the same core values as me, right? And it also goes with, one of the values is the providing aspect of things. So someone that understands that, right? I mentioned it, whatever that looks like. But core values, how are we going to raise our kids? What religion we're going to raise them as? That's very important. Someone that has a good sense of family, right? That's very family oriented. I have a really big family. I'm very close to my family. And you may not have to come from a big family, but you understand the importance of it and how important that is to me, right? Someone that is respectful, and also someone that can communicate. Someone that will someone that will feed my mind. I like to learn about different cultures, different things. I want to be able to have great conversations with whoever I'm with. And as long as I can learn from you daily or throughout our relationship, that's really what's important to me. So for me, those is really the basis of
you
what
said
I would like.
Very interesting early that I caught, and I thought it was a quality. You said Black men have the world on their shoulders. You said something along those lines.
Yes. Yes.
I like the fact that you said that, because you understand and acknowledge the plight of Black men, right? That means a lot. That means a lot. And I thank you for saying, don't get me wrong. It's our job to go out there and provide. Don't get me wrong. 6 days a week, no problem at all. But it's still good to be understood and appreciated. I really don't think women understand how good it feels to just simply be appreciated.
Goes a long way.
Man, listen to me. That goes a long way. And I keep on going back to hug.
Yeah.
That's one of the best ways to appreciate your man, is literally just to give him a hug. Men, I promise you, the men who come in good faith, the men who want to do the right thing, we're very simple creatures. Believe what I'm telling you, we're very simple. Now, the men who don't come in good faith, the men who are going to run your credit up, cheat on you with your sister, go have 3 babies on you, bring home STDs, those men, they're very complex. But men who want to do the right thing, I promise you, very, very simple. That means a lot. Thank you for saying that.
You're welcome. And I really do believe that.
Sorry, I was also going to say, I think when a woman is in love and she's with the man she wants, she will appreciate you. She will care for you. She will do all of the things. I think so much so to the point where I get a lot of girls who come up and say, my man says I'm clingy or it's too much. So I can't see that not happening if she, when you're in love.
Yeah, clingy, she don't like you.
Let me say this, Ashley. The only pushback I'll give you on that, and I agree, but the only pushback, your qualities shouldn't be conditional. Your qualities should be default settings. So what that means is, and I'll just use myself for example. I'm a provider, okay? There's no other version of me. Society wouldn't accept me if I said, well, I'll protect you and do the right thing if you the right girl. No. I'm going to stay myself, but I'm just going to be selective on who I give myself to, because there's only one version. There's no 50-50 version of me. It doesn't happen. There's only one day. So My qualities aren't conditional. It's a default setting. If I had a terrible woman, I would still pay all the bills because it's a default setting. So it's my job to not end up with a terrible woman. I think that we should work on making our qualities default settings. Don't be submissive to me because I'm a good guy. I want you to be submissive to the broke dude too. Because when you come over here, you're going to really appreciate it because you're doing your job and I'm doing my job. I just don't want it to be conditional because conditions can change.
Right.
But I don't think she can rest in her feminine being with a broke guy. I don't think she'll have the opportunity to do that.
Women in third world countries do it all the time.
But the lifestyle is still different. They're not living in $1 million home, right? So the quality of life is very different. So it's still equivalent in a way, if that makes sense.
I had a question. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I just wanted to circle back with what Brother New was saying. When I said the Black men have the world on their shoulders, and you're welcome for saying that. It's something that I really do believe. So when they go out, just being a Black man in America is, you don't even know if you're coming back home. So when you cross that door and you're coming back home with me, you're getting that hug. You're getting the how was your day, right? I'm here to be your peace, not your war. So that's what a lot of women have to understand too, that we have to be our man's peace, right? Rubbing your head goes a long way. Let's just watch a movie. I like to watch ratchet shows. It might not be your thing, but hey, you know what? Lay your head on my lap. Let me just rub your head because I know you had a long day, right? So that's all I really want to say.
I had a question for Brother New. I have a reason why I'm asking this just really quickly because I don't know when Ashley asked us if we're all single. I don't know if you responded, if you're single or if you're dating.
Yeah, I'm a single guy right now. My wife shopping, so everything is vetting. I'm only gonna deal with women who I feel like could be Mrs. Gambler.
Yeah, because I was going to ask that too, because you sound like awesome. So I want to know, like, what type of women are you running into where you're not finding the one? Because well, you be provider, all the.
It's not the fact that I'm not finding the one. I'm 38 years old. I've had a lot of amazing women, but I was a terrible guy. I was a terrible guy because I was a habitual cheater. I've always been an arrogant guy my entire life. I didn't try to hide my cheating. My passcode to my phone has always been 3333. If you want to go through my phone, you're more than welcome. It's just now today, this didn't happen today, but today I'm an older guy. It's like, okay, I want Mrs. Gam, but not to say that I didn't just wake up and have an epiphany. I knew and I'm talking about myself in my 20s. I knew that one day it wouldn't be like this anymore. So I've dated women and I've been dating women. You have to put them through a vetting process. The person who makes it through the vetting process gets the ring. So if I deal with you and we go through a vetting process, that might take 6 months to a year because I'm vetting you to be a wife. You understand what I'm saying? And so I'm not saying that I'm a cheater today. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying that I waited till I was 38 years old. I made 38 a couple weeks ago, by the way. I'm not saying that I waited till I was 38 years old to find a wife. I'm not saying that. But the vetting, it takes time. And when I'm dealing with somebody on an emotional level, that's the only person that I deal with. The person who makes it through the vetting process essentially gets the ring. I've had some people who I've vetted, they just didn't make it through the entire process. So right now, like I said, I'm wife shopping. And let me say this last thing. There will be a day where I post wedding pictures. I'm not posting the vetting. I'm gonna post wedding pictures. Believe you me, it'll come. Believe what I'm telling you. She'll be absolutely gorgeous. Believe what I'm telling you.
All right. Does anyone else want to chime in? No. All right. Okay. So what is everyone's thoughts on online dating?
It works.
I think, yeah. I mean,
on dating apps. Is anyone here on dating apps?
I don't like dating apps. I think Instagram is pretty effective. Dating apps are too many people coming at you. Instagram is my dating app. Yeah. Instagram is my dating app. Hinge, Bumble, The other one's not a huge fan. I've done them before. It's worked before, but there's too many people, too many conversations. It's too much for me to handle.
Yeah.
And I would say the same thing. I've tried dating apps. For me, some of the people that I've met on dating apps, it didn't work out romantically, but they've become some good friends. I think that the problem with the dating apps, as Andre was saying, is that there's too many conversations, right? So at a certain point, it becomes stale. You really can't get to know someone, and I feel like the conversation just doesn't continue. So I'd rather, and also, and I know maybe you men have experienced that, sometimes they don't look like their pictures, right? So they put up a picture of them from 20 years ago, you know, with the afro and everything. And then when you meet them, they just look completely different. So I'd rather just meet someone genuinely. You know, I'm out in a coffee shop, I'm doing groceries, I get approached, let's have a conversation. You hear my raspy voice, you're like, oh, you know, that's cool. But dating apps, for me, I haven't had much luck on that. I do know people that have met their significant other, and that's married today. So it does work, yes, but it has not worked for me and what I'm looking for, because again, there's so many options that a lot of the people that I personally have met on the dating apps did not want anything serious. They wanted situationships, and that's not what I'm about at all.
Let me. I wanted to respond to what you said about the dating app. If you want to talk, Simone, you can go ahead.
You're already speaking. Go ahead.
Okay, so you said that people don't look the same as they do on their dating profile.
Sometimes.
Interesting, because men, we don't use makeup. We don't use filters. We don't take pictures from different angles to make us appear any other way. Right? If you're meeting someone on the dating app, Instagram, all of that, there should be a FaceTime phone call where you two can see each other before you actually meet. But if anybody is doing the catfishing, it's the women. Like we don't use, like, when you see me, you're going to see my blemishes. You're gonna see my head. Like, you're gonna see me, right? We don't have shapewear. That doesn't exist for men. When you get us raw. So, and not to say that isn't your experience, but the catfishing comes from women. Like 10 days a week, the catfishing comes from women. Like, yeah.
I agree. I mean, that's why I said you can speak on it. I agree. I've heard stories. So definitely I'll give you that. Yeah.
I would say that I've heard women say that though, like some men will put up pictures from 10 years ago when they were 10 years younger. You know, or slimmer when they were more in shape, or so that is a thing for some men, not all of them, for sure.
Right.
I don't remember ever going through a catfish situation, because if I meet you, even on Instagram, we're going to do a FaceTime phone call. I want you to see the raw me, and I expect to see the raw you as well. Society doesn't allow men to be delusional. If you have a job as a man, right? If you have a job as a man, and matter of fact, let's say me and Andre work at Lowe's in the paint department. I show Andre a picture of an Instagram model, in any of them, it doesn't matter. I show Andre a picture of a beautiful Instagram model. I say, Andre, man, this girl is beautiful. I sent her a DM. I don't understand why she not hit me up. And Andre will look at her with 2 million followers and be like, bro, you work in the paint department at Lowe's. She's out of your league. Before I'm able to clock off, somebody is going to snap me back into reality. Men, like, it's a luxury. Society is so comfortable that you cannot accept your reality, and you can create another reality in your mind. We as men, we don't have that luxury. We don't have the luxury to do stuff like that. Society wakes us up like that. The male dating coaches, you should hear how the men talk. You should hear how us men talk to other men. I literally posted something on my page the other day. A guy called in. He was like, man, I can't get any girls. The dude said, you know what? Take your shirt off. He said, you fat as a mother. You need to get in the gym. You need to work. Like, men talk to men like drill sergeants. We aren't allowed to be delusional. Society doesn't give us that comfort. Like,
so are you saying, I'm sorry, really quickly, are you saying that women are delusional?
I'm not saying women are delusional. I'm just telling you that men aren't. I'm not saying women are. I'm just
I
saying
think some women are delusional. I think there's a portion. I don't think it's most. And like New said, I don't think women challenge other women enough to be better. So I've had friends challenge me.
Mhm.
You know, Dre, if you want that, you got to get there. Like, all right, cool, did it. It wasn't a fun conversation. I do feel that us men have tougher conversations about what we can and can't attract, and what we have to do to attract whom we want, the architecture that we want. Men are better having those conversations than women.
And I will say that is true, being that I do like live conversations with a lot of women around the world.
Mhm.
And it's almost like you can't tell a woman directly that maybe there's something she needs to work on without her feeling away, you know, or without the chat saying something or what have you. So in my experience being on live helping women, I have seen that, whether that's about weight, whether that's about your hair, whether that's about the guy that you're with. So I think that's a very real thing. Does any of the ladies want to chime in on that?
I think
Do you
Simone
think
wants to go.
women can be delusional at times? Like there's nothing that I need to change.
I think some are. I think that some are. You know, they think that the way they are is just perfect, and there's no one's perfect, right?
Mhm.
So, Shayna, you mentioned that you had things to work on your personality, right? So that's good. You were able to, you know, look at yourself and say, hey, this is what I need to work on. But maybe your girlfriend could have said, you know what, girl, your attitude is trash. You need to work on this, you need to work on that. That's why you can't have a man. And you're like, no, I'm perfect. Like a lot of women think that, right? You can't tell them anything. So yes, I do believe some of them are delusional. And Shauna, I use you as an example, but it's just because of the context, right?
Well, because you got to understand that a lot of people, when you tell them about themselves, they don't, they take it, they're defensive. A lot of people get defensive once you tell them, you know, this is what's wrong with you, or, you know, this is not okay, or this is okay. You know, a lot of people don't like that. So since I've been in therapy, I've learned to, there's an issue with someone, instead of saying like, you know, I got an issue with you, or this is what's wrong with you. You know, you use I statements like, I feel like you should work on this, or I feel like you should do better at this. And then that makes it less offensive. But I have friends who, well, I used to have friends who, if you would say something, you know, about them, or, you know, help them, they would get defensive, and that could be a potential fallout. You know, we may no longer be friends because I told you about something within yourself that you didn't like. So
Yeah, I agree too. Well, I agree because sometimes it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And I do notice that sometimes, like at least with Ashley, when she is, you know, doing her show, she's very, you know, she could say it a different way, but she's very like monotone and just like nicely, you know, constructive. But I feel like, okay, go ahead.
and I say this, right? Who can hold women accountable? Who can tell women? Ashley does it every single week, right? Just like Monique. Ashley helps women become better in the most non-judgmental, the most endearing way. As I always say, Ashley
Endearing, yeah.
Ashley is the mom, big sister, auntie that a lot of women never had. I remember when I first saw her platform, somebody sent it over to me, and I went through, and I remember how amazing, how excited I was when I ran across Ashley content, because I'm like, hey, she's helping these women become wives. Like, I remember I was just blown away because I had never seen it. Like, I listened to guy stuff all day. I never seen, for the most part, a woman who takes it. First of all, Ashley fly. Let's start off by
Yeah.
she don't gotta teach y'all.
She is.
Ashley can go get her, like I said last time. Ashley can go get a high profile guy and get off the internet. She don't gotta teach y'all nothing. So the fact that somebody who popping, taking time out of her life to sit women down and say, hey, no, baby, don't do this. You should do this. You should do this. You should do this. Like, she's a guardian angel. She's literally helping women become wives. I was blown away. I told her last time, and I'll tell her again. I'm like your biggest male fan because I don't see this a lot. Maybe it exists online, but again, it was a sister who sent me over her content. But even as you said, as monotone, as humble as Ashley is, you see how fly she is. As humble she is, non-judgmental, she still gets pushback. And I'm like, well, shit, if you can't accept it from Ashley, who can tell it to you? You don't want to hear it from me. You don't want me to talk because
if you tell them, they'll cry, brother. No.
Yeah, that's mama. I'm straight. Like, I'm old school. I'm black coffee, no sugar, no cream, no nothing. I don't listen. When I talk to you, I want to be black coffee. If you take a cup of coffee and put too much sugar in it, too much cream, too much milk, you forget you're drinking coffee. I'm going to give it to you straight. It's up to you to do whatever you want to with it. I'm only here to help you. But that's Mama Bear up there. If she can't tell it to you, who can? Because I don't know nobody else who is as fly and can give it to you on a better platter. I don't know. So I'm blown away when women give Ashley pushback. And excuse me.
Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. And I do hear it a lot as of this week. Like, people were reporting my videos because of this very issue. Yeah, so some videos were removed because of it. Yeah, girls are pretty upset about some of the things that I've said, but like the men are saying, it's so important. Like, it's good to hear it now. And I think because I was raised that way in my household, like my parents were like straightforward. This is what it is. I know a lot of people are not from that generation or didn't grow up in that type of household, but it gets you to where you need faster. You'll get there quicker if you hear it as it is, you know? And if you don't want to hear it from me, the easiest thing you can do is post yourself on the internet. They will tell you immediately what you need to change.
and let me say this. And the elephant in the room is a lot of women just simply weren't raised with fathers, because I remember I came on Ashley's platform and I talked to some of the women and I got a ton of pushback, and I'm cool with being a bad cop. But I also got a ton of direct messages from women saying, Brother New, I appreciate you for being honest. You just like my dad. Truth be told, a lot of women have never been in the presence of an authoritative black man. They'll listen to the white man at work, but just being in the presence of an authoritative black man, a heterosexual authoritative black man, is like, who are you? You know what? You're gay. You're an asshole. Who hurt you? Your mom this, your mom, like, dude, the level of insults that you get for standing in your masculine, the level of pushback that you get, it's insane. It is absolutely insane. And it's like, again, if you had a father, you would be okay with taking direction, suggestion from another man who looked like your dad. But if you didn't have a father, if you grew up in a single parent household, you're going to have an issue. And I'm speaking on our sisters. You're going to have an issue with a black man telling you to stop doing that. Take that twerk video down. Pull your pants up. Stop. You got your drawers hanging out. Like, you're going to have an issue with that. But women who were raised with fathers, they're used to hearing a man tell it to them straight, because if a person correct you, they care about you. A stranger don't tell you nothing. You should be offended at the stranger.
I don't think it's just fathers, and this is going for the ladies to work on who don't have a man in the house. It could be an uncle or a grandfather, but get some kind of man in there. To be honest, there are a lot of obese children. The likelihood of an obese, especially an obese daughter, being in the house, if a man is not even just there, but uncle, grandfather, family friend, whatever, is a lot likely to never happen, because he's going to tell her, look, you're a lady. Like, you can't do this. Let's get this figured out while you're young, and that tough love thing. So if it ain't the child's dad, have to be someone close to him.
Yeah, I think that's true too, because I think my dad was big on fitness. And if he saw me and my sister, like, okay, it's time to go play volleyball or play a sport. So I definitely think it starts in a home for sure. Do you ladies have any input on that? No.
I agree. Yeah, that it starts in the home. Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
Alrighty. So we have a question here.
It does
What does
start from the
account?
home, and that's why.
Mhm.
Someone says,
What does accountability look like for men?
you want to go, Brother Dre, first? And
Yeah, as far as dating, you can get her, but you might need to work on X, Y, Z, or maybe if I don't know if she's in your lane. You might want to pursue a different lane. Financially, look, I want to bring you on vacation with me, but you don't have any money, so I can't afford to bring you on this vacation. Also, I've had conversations with men who have good women, and I was like, "Yo, I messed up good relationships before. She ain't perfect, but she might be the best you could do. You might want to just kind of work that out." Internet attention is a big deal. Sometimes someone flirting with you online, you might think that you could do better than who you are with currently, and you can't.
Mm-hmm.
But a guy like me will say, "Yo, stick with what you got, brother. All right, cool. Go to the strip club if you want some attention. Stick with who you have." So it could just be more my friends than other people's friends, but we have no problem holding each other accountable because, one, we don't want each other to fail. We care about each other. And we want you to be in a healthy relationship. Yeah, 80% of my friends are married or in a long-term relationship. Most of all my friends are earning six figures, have a few $100,000 at least net worth. So it's everything and everything. We are relaying it to our friends in our network.
Okay, they're asking about the strip club comment. If you can elaborate on that, they're asking.
Yeah, some men who are in a relationship, they literally just want to see another woman, but they don't want to cheat. So go to strip club.
Okay.
So back to the original question, what does accountability look like for men? I think that, okay, for example, when I look at, again, I'll reference the Muslim community. When I look at men, boys being built into men systemically, if you raise a boy to be a man, him being an accountable person would be a default setting. If a man starts a boy off from young, you raise him up, okay? You treat that boy like you're a drill sergeant, he's one of your military guys, right? That's the approach me personally, I think men should take, especially black men. You raise your boy up. You keep him physically fit. You teach him life lessons along the way. You make him hold the door for his mother. You make him hold the door for his sister. You make him pump the gas. You teach him right from wrong. You raise that boy up. You teach him white collar. You teach him blue collar. Okay? You teach him the importance of marriage, family. When you build a man up the correct way, he's going to be an accountable person by default.
And he'll seek other men to do the same as he gets older. He won't reject it.
Right, and I'll get to that. Men who are raised by men are accountable beings. The boys who raise in them single parent households, those are the ones who are not accountable because they took upon the mindset of their mother. It's okay for a woman not to be as accountable per se, because in a righteous society, women are protected, right? Or in a stable society, the women are protected. So women are allowed and afforded certain luxuries that we as men aren't. But a boy raised into a man by a good father, he's an accountable person by default. And that's why I push marriage so much, okay? The reason I push marriage, because marriage will solve a lot of the problems that we have. A lot of the issues that we have are because there aren't men like me and men like Dre in the household. My kid not allowed to get fat because we're going to go work out. My son isn't allowed to disrespect his mom. My son isn't allowed to use profanity. My son isn't going to sit on his ass and play video games all day. I refuse to let my kid play video games all day. There's certain things that you cannot do in the presence of a man. You're not about to sit in a car while your woman pump the gas. When I go to the gas stations and I see women pumping gas and a man sitting in the car, that does something to my spirit. I'm like, you know what? His father wasn't around. Where's your father? Where is your father? Because the man is going to hold you accountable. Men who were raised by their fathers grow up and continue with the alpha male personality type. When you have the alpha male personality type, you're going to bond with other alpha males. Alpha males hold each other accountable by default. You listen, you think I'm rude? You don't never want to hear me and my boys talking. One of my boys cheated on his wife. Dude, I yelled and cursed at him so much. I said, you don't deserve that woman. Oh, she not letting me see my kid. You don't deserve to see your kid. Because when you had your kid in your house, you was out there messing around.
We don't hang around people who don't take care of their kids either.
That's another thing. Men who don't hang out with kids, dude, listen, I'm on your ass. You not taking care of your kids? I'm on your ass. Alpha men hold each other accountable. Believe what I'm telling you. We don't allow each other to live in any sort of delulu. The level of accountability in men is insane. It's through the roof. Believe what I'm telling you. Our locker room talk is harsh. Like, believe this internet stuff, believe me, we got filters on because we're on the internet. But our locker room talk, we slapping each other around. What's wrong with you? Go back home. Like, go back home to your wife. Go back home to your children. Don't let me catch you out at, bro. You need to go back home to your woman. Like, because it's not honorable. Not taking care of your children, that's not honorable. Having children for a woman, that's not honorable. Bringing home STDs, that's not honorable. You unemployed and your woman employed, that's not honorable. We don't. And listen.
And dating a man too that doesn't take care of his children is not honorable either, as well. Like, you have some women that will date a man that doesn't take care of his children, and I just find that crazy.
I was gonna ask too on the panel, and I'll start with the ladies first. What qualities do you think men need to work on when it comes to dating? And I want us to focus on the Black community, and then I'll ask the men the reverse. What are some qualities, if we can name two, that maybe women need to work on and men need to work on within our community? All right, so everyone can be better daters and show up just a little bit better. I'll start with Jess or Sheena or Simone.
So for me, I think that as women, we need, and I've mentioned that before, but I believe that we need to create a safe space for men. And again, it always goes back with the communication for me, right? But to let him know that it is safe here. Because a lot of Black men don't feel like they can be vulnerable with their women, right? Because a lot of Black women will take that information that he shared or that emotion that he displayed and use it against him, right? So I really feel that, especially in the dating aspect of this conversation, for us women, we need to let men understand that this is a safe space, right? Communication is key, and you can be vulnerable.
Sorry to cut you off, but I want to know what what qualities do men need to work on, and then the men are going to give us qualities the women need to work on.
Oh, okay. So the men. Okay, so the qualities that they need to it's really just communication. A lot of them don't communicate. They're they're damaged, so they're not going to share their true feelings. So I think that's definitely something that they need to work on. For a lot, not all.
Yeah. I would say that a lot of men need to be intentional when you're dating. I know a lot of guys, at least in my age range, they just date women just to take up time. They'll go out with different women who they know that they don't want to marry or they don't see a future with. And so it's just like, why are you wasting your time? Why are you wasting her time? So that's something I've been working on as well in my dating life, is to be very intentional about the type of men that I'm dating. So I think that men should be very intentional about what they're dating.
Okay, so communication and being intentional is what I'm hearing. Okay, Sheena.
I would have to say communication, and then I would also have to say not creating, because you said in the Black community, right? And this is not for all of us, but like creating multiple homes, multiple families in, different homes, I would have to say. Um, that's to me, that's one of the biggest ones. That's not our main issue, of course, because there are a lot of two-parent households, and but that definitely is creating a broken home.
And let me piggyback off that, because that's exactly what I was going to say. But from the man standpoint, Black babies need to be more expensive. Okay, what that means is there are too many out of wedlock children. I saw something today where one guy, his goal was to have 25 children. He's going to have 25 children with about 5 women. That's one dingbat guy, right? And that's 5 women. We need to make it where for a black baby, you have to provide a ring. You need some sort of financial stability. Black children are too cheap. They need to be more expensive. All it takes to make a black baby is 2 people having a vibe. You look good, we're going to get together, we're going to sleep together, we're going to have a kid and go our separate ways.
The vibe.
That's why you have to be intentional.
Say that again?
That's why you have to be intentional.
The babies, okay, it doesn't get no more intentional than a ring. If you want me to have your baby new, you're going to have to marry me. If you want me to have your baby new, you're going to have to put me in a house. If you want me to have a baby new, you better have some money for if you have a rainy day. If you want me to have your baby new, you need to tell me what your plans are going to be to take care of me and this baby. Black babies need to be more expensive. They're too cheap. Too many children out of wedlock. You take a black mom and a black dad and you put them 2 together, the likelihood of you creating a more productive citizen in society goes up tremendously. So our babies need to be more expensive. It's too many babies because we had a good vibe. It's too many of these, and I'm seeing too many of these. It used to be called artificial insemination. It's too many people hooking up and like, look, you cute. Let's put our sperm together and create a baby. It's too much. Like, bro, black babies are not toys. They're human beings. Black mom, black dad, nuclear family. That would solve our problems overnight. Period.
So why aren't there more black families then?
Say
What's
that again?
the issue with? Why is there not more black families? Why are there not more 2-parent households?
Because the women are having babies out of wedlock. It takes 2 people to have a baby. But in America, only one person decides if that child comes to term. If that child is going to come to, only one person gets that decision. For example, let's say you, Simone, me and you hook up, we go out, we date for 6 months. I get you pregnant. I said, hey, look, Simone, I think that our relationship not doing that good. I don't think we should bring this baby into this world. You say, no, I don't care what you say, I'm having a baby, right? You have a baby that I don't agree with. The baby's here. We're not on the same page. So then we're forced to co-parent. You're outside pumping gas 4:00 in the morning with a newborn in the car. You're vulnerable. Somebody carjacked you with a baby in the back seat. This happens every day. Our women are too vulnerable. I was just the other day, I just went and got breakfast the other day. I saw a mom with 2 children, and I was watching the way she was holding a baby, looking around, because she was by herself. Like, she was by herself.
But even if this woman decides to have the child, why can't the father show up and still be present?
Right, and take accountability for it takes 2 to lay down. You literally just said women. It's
you put the blame on women.
Only one.
As if a man is not responsible as well.
Okay. Right, and he doesn't take accountability.
In the black community, you have a small percentage of black men that are responsible for the majority of the children. 50% of black men don't have children at all. There's plenty of men like me and brother Dre. Dre, you don't have no children, correct?
No child with us. I had a child who
There-
didn't make it a few years ago.
Say that again.
Yeah.
I had a child who didn't make it a couple of years ago, but
Okay.
only.
I'm sorry.
There are
about that.
plenty of men who do not have children, who want children, but do not have children. It's a small percentage of black men that are responsible for a lot of the broken homes. The Nick Cannons of the world. Nick Cannon, I love him as an individual, but collectively, he's a bad image for black men. Nick Cannon has multiple children for multiple women, and those women are still lining up to have more children. Future, and I'm just pulling people. I'm not picking on these guys. I'm only using them because at a moment's notice, you know what I'm talking about. This is one guy who has multiple children for multiple women, and the women are still lining up. That's one man, 15 women. That's why the emphasis of, I'm not beating up on women, but only in America, only the woman decides if the child comes into the world. If it was up to both parents, we would probably have half the children. Because truth be told, if we really be honest, most of these kids that man didn't want anyways. If we really want to be honest, the man didn't want the child. You having a child that a man saying, listen, I'm telling you right now, you have that kid, I'm not going to be there. Is he wrong? Absolutely. Absolutely. But he don't have the choice to bring, he doesn't have the choice to bring this child into the world. Only one person gets that choice.
I'm gonna hop in, brother. No, I'm gonna hop in. What more black women need to work on. So who invented the situationship? Yes, who invented the situationship?
I don't know. I have no idea. Men?
I feel like you're gonna say, and I feel like you're gonna say that women invented the situationship.
I'm asking you. I'm asking your opinion.
Oh, who
invented the situationship?
The only reason why I will say, created or accepted.
Whichever, same thing.
Well, I would say the woman accepts the situationship because she continues to, involve herself in that situation.
Okay, cool. If you want a relationship, get with a man who wants a relationship with you. There's a misnomer that men, especially black men, don't want relationships. They do. I think for the women who find themselves consistently in unwanted situationships, you're picking somebody who doesn't want you. You probably have somebody who wants you, but he might not be your ideal type. I think I heard you talk about this, actually. The guy who might not be your ideal type might be your husband or some variation of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So he's probably there, but men like relationships. Black men like relationships. I've never heard a black man say, over 25, say, man, who met a woman he was really into, not commit to her. If he was broke, I've had friends who were broke who borrowed money for a date just so she wouldn't see him broke.
And let me piggyback off this, brother.
If he's into you, he will commit to you. So if your goal is a relationship, find the guy who will commit to you. He's there. Or you might have to improve to get him.
Back off that.
Yeah.
Let's say that all of us men are terrible. Cool. All of us are terrible. You have to decide, like, if all of these men are terrible, I have to be selective with who child I carry to term. Because if these men are presumably terrible, I'm going to be stuck with this baby. Let me pick the man who is going to give me a ring and give me his last name. Marriage does not guarantee nothing, but marriage increases the likelihood that things go the right way.
And I'll say this. I haven't seen a man who's really into a woman wait more than 3 to 5 days for us to ask her to be exclusive with us.
Yeah.
We know about
I haven't seen the whole 6. Oh, we were friends. We dated 6 months. Man, we don't want you dating anybody else.
That's so true.
We're at least somewhat territorial, right? In a healthy manner. So, yeah, that's it.
Brother Dre,
I don't know.
Question.
Sure.
I said the other day, as men, now this is men 35 or better.
Yeah.
30 or better. We know by the second date,
Fam, it's
if
a wrap.
we're open to the idea of marrying you. We know very early on.
We know if we don't want to. I'll tell you that. We definitely know if we don't want to marry you.
We know we say there, because there's only two categories of women. They're wives and they're everything else. We know by the second date if we're open to the idea of you being our wife. Now, that doesn't mean that it's going to go as planned.
Yeah, of course.
We know if we're open to the idea of it. Believe what I'm telling you. If you have to ask a man, what are we? I promise you, he don't like you like that. I tell women all the time, if a guy has 2 children out of wedlock, you better not give him a chance because he's going to make you the third. I tell women all the time, stay away from men with multiple children out of wedlock. If you don't marry the second person you have a kid with, marriage isn't important to you. Coming home to your kid every night isn't important to you. Stay away from those men. Men know by the second date. If a man isn't talking marriage within that 6 to 12 month time frame, not just I want to be married, that's not good enough. I think I'm gonna marry you. If a man doesn't tell you that in between that 6 to 12 month period, believe what I'm telling you, run for the hills. I've done it before. We waste women time.
And I got a one-liner for the woman too. If you are confused and you do want clarity, this one question will give you all the clarity you need after 3rd to 5th date. Do you view me as a wife? Not do you want to get married? Do you? Because I'm marriage-minded, but there's some women I've met who I don't view as a wife, who are actually a really good woman, but they're not. I don't see them as a wife in my eyes. Do you view me as a wife? That will tell you everything. His answer.
But I also think if you have to ask that, then he doesn't. I think you can feel it. You know, by that second date or 3rd date, the guy's like, I want you to be mine. I don't want you to be with anyone else. Like, that's a real thing. You know what I mean?
Some women are going to need clarity just for their own peace, and that will give them the clarity right there.
Men are very, very forward when we want you like that. Now, granted, we're talking about older men. We're not talking about a 22-year-old. We're talking about 30 or better, especially 35 or better.
And I would even say 20. I had a lot of friends who were married in their mid-20s. I think,
fresh out of college.
If we meet a woman we're into, we don't really play with her like that because we know someone's going to get her.
It's like all gas. Like everything is quick, I feel like, or fast, for sure.
I asked a woman to be in a relationship one time on the first date.
I
wouldn't advise that. But I was like, yeah, let's wrap this puppy up. Let's get it done.
If you have to ask a man, it's a chance that he's just simply not the one. Relationships aren't good enough. You have to require marriage. Believe what I'm telling you. Requiring marriage is going to filter a lot of stuff out. As a woman, let a man know up front, listen, New, I'm telling you right now, I'm looking for marriage. I'm only dating you because I feel like you could be a husband. If you don't look at me like that, let me know. If New's still confused, 6 months in, you better leave New ass alone. Believe what I'm telling you. And I'm using myself as this example. I'm picking on myself. I'm using myself as an example. Believe what I'm telling you. We are very aggressive.
We're going to ask Jess and Sheena, did y'all want to chime in and say anything? Because I saw Jess raise your hand earlier.
Yes. So what I wanted to say
was 6 months is too long.
Okay, listen, I ain't gonna give you no pushback.
That's my only thing. Like, that's too long.
I feel like the two of you are in a different category because you came on here, you said, I'm out shopping for a wife. Like, you know what you want, you know? And Andre, you seem like you know what you want as well. However, I can say from my experience, it's not the majority, right? There's so many options out here that men don't want to commit, right? And
that's true.
Even the guy who gets the chicks he might still cheat, but he wants to be in a relationship with somebody.
Well, and you know what? Maybe it's okay. So maybe it's just my experience.
Are you picking who you want to pick, or picking who picks you? If we have to talk to you directly,
both. Both, because I pick who picks me, right? And I pick who I want to. But at some point, although, I've been a wife, so I know what it is to be a wife. Whoever I'm with.
When you say you've been married before?
Yes.
Okay, I don't know. That's what I don't know.
Yes. I mentioned that at the beginning. So I was married for a very long time, and I've been divorced for 3 years now, and that's because I chose myself in that relationship, right? So I know what it's like to be a wife. I know what it's like to, you know, take care of a man or whatnot. But a lot of men that I've encountered, right, that I've come across, I would say, especially on the dating apps, let me just put it out there like that. Although you put looking for a serious relationship, they're still going to come to you and say, well, I'm not too sure what I'm looking for, but let's give it a try. Okay. And then at the end, I noticed that, what, it's not going anywhere, right? You're not looking for marriage, you're not this, you're not that, but that's because there's so many options. I feel like a lot of men, not all, but a lot, they keep their options open, right? Because maybe it's like the next best thing.
I'm gonna be real direct. Hold on, brother. Let me cut for a second. I'm gonna be real direct, at the risk of being slightly offensive. I know friends who do very well with women. I do reasonably well with women, right? I know friends who do really well. Even when they meet a chick they're into, it's done. It's wrapped up. They are committed. Some of them might still cheat, from honest, but they are committing to that woman. So I have to give double pushback. If he's not committing, he's not. I've never met a guy who says, yo, I met a woman I'm really into, but I don't got enough money. We're going to figure out the money thing. We're going to figure out whatever it is, because he's going to lock down that woman. So I respectfully disagree with that statement.
Now let me ask you this, just because I missed it earlier. Now, how old are you?
I don't think she wants to get
I didn't say my age.
Well, what?
I didn't say my age. Yeah. I'm 42.
Are you
okay.
42
Right.
now?
42.
Now it sounds like you're up north. Where are you? Where are you geographically? What city? What state?
Geographically, I just moved to Atlanta.
Oh, baby, listen.
Like 4 months ago.
You're in one of the
But
top.
my experience, but no, wait, pause. Okay. My experience is from up north. I'm from Canada. Okay. So my experiences that I'm sharing are mostly with Canadian men. So Canadian Black men, they're men
Location
in
doesn't
general.
matter. The location
Like, exactly. That's what it comes down to, is that location doesn't matter, because these situations have happened while I was in Canada, and I've only been in Atlanta 4 months now, right? So I haven't been dating. I'm focusing on my business and things like that. So
do you want to date? Is it a goal of yours to date?
It's not. Yes, I'm open to dating. Is it a goal? No. My goals are business. But
so there's this
of course,
thing at the
I am open to that.
Every Wednesday, there's a group. There's like an event there at Spaceman in Atlanta. I go usually once, twice a month. Spaceman in Atlanta, Buckhead Hotel rooftop. Really fly people, 20s to 40s. A lot of single people meet up there. Everyone's well dressed. You should come through. I think we're actually going tomorrow. You should go tomorrow if you're free.
All right, I'll be there. I'm open to meeting people.
Yeah. Now here's the thing. This is what I tell the younger men. Let me tell you, I get a lot of DMs from younger men and younger women for advice. I tell both groups the exact same thing. Go to school. Men, go to school, get a degree where you're gonna start off making $80,000 or better. They're like, why, no? Women are hypergamous. Women want to look up to their men. You're gonna have to start high and work your way higher. Today, it's not like back in the day. 20 years ago, 30,000, 50,000, 70,000, that was good enough. Now today, things are expensive. 80,000 and moving upwards, right? I tell the young women, dude, listen to me. I literally get DMs from 21-year-old girls asking me for advice. Not because they're interested in me. Hey, New, I'm dating this guy and this happened. For my young women in your 20s, go to college for a husband. That's primary. And while you're in college finding a husband, you get a degree. The people who make the most money, or the households that have the highest income per capita, are going to be Indians and Asians. Colleges aren't full of Indian and Asian women. You know why? Because they have husbands. They don't need degrees. They have husbands.
You said they're not?
Say that again?
You said they're not, or they are?
Indian and Asian women don't need degrees.
No, I'm
Because
saying, did you say the college is full of Indian Asians or they're not?
They aren't.
Really? Because I live in
Indian-
California, USC. It's nothing but Asians and Indians there.
That's California.
But I went to the University of Maryland, and it was nothing but Asians and Indians there too.
Don't miss the message. Indian and Asian women don't need degrees. Let's say all of them are in college. They don't need their degrees because they have husbands. They do better than black folks. Okay? That's the point that I'm making. Why go to women, go to college, get a husband, find you somebody that when he graduates, he's gonna start off making $80,000. You need a man who you can look up to, $80,000 and working his way up. Don't get with no guy making $50,000 a year. Don't get with no guy making $40,000 a year. Don't get with no guy making $30,000 a year. Out of college, you're going to outgrow him.
But the thing is, I think a lot of Black women aren't taught that coming up. So I know a lot of white women are taught get a ring by spring when you go to college, but Black women are taught to keep your head in the books, don't sleep with boys, don't look at a boy, go to school. That's like a real thing, you know? Everything is about education and success.
And collectively, how are Black women? With that advice, how are Black women doing collectively?
Yeah, as far as
that has something to do with struggle.
Hold on, Sheena. I would say as far as dating goes, Black women struggle in that area, but maybe thrive when it comes to their business. So I think that's a very real thing. That's a very real thing.
We're in survival mode.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, go to college and get a husband. Ask him, what is he going to school for? You then go home. How much does these people make right out of college? If it's under 80,000, believe me, in most cases, leave it alone. You're going to outgrow him. When you outgrow your husband or your significant other, you're going to become resentful towards him. It's not going to last. 80,000 or better right out of school. While you're in college finding a husband, you pick up a degree. There's a video that went viral with a dozen little white girls in their cap and gown with rings on. Not that I'm using white women as the barometer, but I'm just saying a video went viral of white women, little white girls, I should say, in their cap and gown, graduating with rings on their finger. You can have all the money you want as a woman. You can have all the degrees. But if you don't have a man in that household, a part of you going to be incomplete. Nobody can tell me that a woman sitting in her penthouse with her Mercedes in the garage with all her degrees hung up on the wall, her business that makes 6-7 figures a year, you can't tell me that that woman is fulfilled without a man. A husband is a rite of passage.
But the upbringing is definitely different. I'm not going to say every Black woman, is in this case or is a boss babe or makes money. That wouldn't be fair to say, but maybe the majority. I don't think a lot of women are taught that. If they grew up in a single parent household, they're just not. That's the reality,
And it goes back to marriage. It goes back to marriage. That's why I always preach marriage. Marriage will solve most of our problems overnight. When you look at them badass little boys who breaking into old women houses, who stealing cars from women, who slapping and doing causing chaos in the community, are those boys with fathers in the household or no? Of course not. Of course, in most cases, those boys don't have fathers. This is why everything goes back to marriage. Everything will always, all roads leads back to marriage. Point blank period. When you look at the people who do the best, the commonality between them, a lot of them come from two-parent households. Not most. I'm sorry. Not necessarily all, but for sure most. It goes back to marriage. We have to make marriage the primary focus in our community. A lot of the problems that we have are because we're apart. Even men, when we don't have a woman, we're eating out every day. We eat fast food every day. And I'm just saying that.
That up too.
We're eating out every day. We work too much. A lot of us men are stressed out. Not me, but a lot of us men, we have poor health. A lot of us have high blood pressure. A lot of us have diabetes, black men. A lot of us have diabetes because we're eating out every day. You got all the money in the world. You got a bunch of women, but you're running. You need to come back to the household and get a healthy meal. Not full of grease. You need to come back to the household and get a healthy meal. We need you guys, and you guys need us. Point blank, period. I need a black woman. There's a black woman out there who needs me. You understand what I'm saying? It goes back to marriage. Marriage is what should be put first because that'll solve the vast majority of our problems overnight.
All right. Sheena, did you want to chime in? I saw you wanted to say something earlier.
I can't remember right now. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Please forgive me for over
because you said a lot, so I'm trying to like take it all in. But yeah.
Right. Does
No,
anyone
I was
else have
actually,
any
you know
thoughts?
what, Ashley, I was agreeing with you far as in the Black community or just we are taught, which I think is good too. We are taught to focus on school, you know, not necessarily focus on the boys as well. But I also agree with Brother New too about the college, you know, looking for a husband. I guess are you saying like looking for a husband or be open to, you know,
looking for a husband?
I say
Looking.
You need to women 20 the young girls who hit me up. Uncle New, I'm going to baby. Listen, you're in your 20s right now. As far as attractiveness, you're at your peak. Okay. While you're in college, you need to be looking for a marriage-minded boy. Okay. Hey, Roger, what are you going to school for? You need to go your ass home. Get on the internet. See, okay, cool. Roger, okay, we live in Los Angeles. Okay, let me see how much the job pays. You need to see because you need to be able to always look up at Roger. We need to be more strategic. We're at the top of everything bad and we're at the bottom of everything good. As Black people, we're in last place. We have 50 years. We have 50 years of case study to show what happens in your life when you don't prioritize marriage. We have 50 years of case study. We're taught to go to school and focus on our jobs, right? Who's teaching you that? Who's tricking you out your femininity? Who's tricking you out of your youth? Who's tricking you out of your womb? We need to take a look at that. We need to take a look at why are older women purposely giving younger women advice, bad advice, I'm sorry. Why are older women purposely giving younger women bad advice? Why we don't have female OGs? Think about that. That needs to be evaluated. Again, we're at the top of everything bad. We're at the bottom of everything good. Tell them, boy, listen to me, brother. You come to me for some advice. Why you in college, brother? Listen to me good. Go find you a wife, brother. Go get you a girl when you're in your 20s. Be married before you make 30. You need to propose to her in that 25 to 27 age. Marry her before you make 30. By 35, you should be looking to damn near retire your woman. By 40, you should be able to start downshifting. Y'all should be able to travel the world. Don't be like Uncle New. I've been a bachelor for a long time. I've been in and out of relationships. Let me tell you, dude, I have a lot of fun. Last month was my birthday. I spent a couple weeks out the country. I'll be on a resort tomorrow. Okay? I live an amazing life. I have a bunch of stories. Andre will tell you, I would trade that in to go back to my 20s to get married in my 20s. You know why? Being in a relationship, it's a shield. It'll shield you from all of the stuff that you go through. There'll be times in your life where you'll have emotional hardship that you're going to need your significant other there to protect you. There are times, and I'm speaking from a man's standpoint, there are times where I got hurt from dealing with people, both men and women that I shouldn't have been dealing with. If I had my significant other, she would have shielded me. One thing a Black woman does, she can evaluate everybody around you and tell you who's good and who's bad. Listen, see him? You shouldn't be hanging with him. See her now. I don't think she's a good friend. See him right there. You guys, and it's because you're the first woman on this earth. That's why you guys have a way of seeing stuff that we can't see. I protect you physically. You protect me emotionally. I don't suggest none of the young brothers done what I done at all. Absolutely not. Go to school and find you a wife. Y'all two are going to protect each other from all of the bullshit that life throws at you. Because when you're a bachelor, you have to either go through it alone or you have to deal with somebody who you don't have an emotional connection with. Go ahead. You guys got the floor.
And I was gonna ask everyone just like final thoughts on like dating, and if you guys can give anyone a piece of advice right now, the community or the people who will rewatch this, can you give, the chat, the community some advice?
I would say to sit down and learn about yourself, learn the things that you like, learn the things that you don't like, learn your values, what's significant to you, before you jump out there and try to get in a relationship or even start dating. But get to really know yourself, heal those childhood traumas, whether people want to admit it or not. Every single person, white, black, blue, green. I'm in group therapy every week, and I meet people from all across the country, and everyone's dealing with childhood traumas. So really sit down and just heal what happened past generations, what happened to you when you was a kid. And so you can break those curses instead of, just, this is the way I am, just deal with it, So really sit down and get to the root of why you the way you are.
Mm-hmm. I would also say the same thing, is to heal yourself, because as they say, hurt people. So it's really just to take that time and heal, but not to give up. I love love. I'm a hopeless romantic. I especially love Black love. So I know that there's love out there and there's always someone for you. So just don't give up on love. It's hard out here, but there's someone for you.
Yeah, so I would say, for one, thank you so much, Ashley, for this opportunity. But I would say, just be open. And a lot of times it depends on where you're at in life and age. But I would say, be open, have fun as well. It's nothing wrong with having fun. Communicate, and listen to your gut, when it comes to dating, and not always putting others in your business. But yeah, I would say that those few things when it comes to like dating.
I want to just add something else on, Ash. For people that's my age, so in their 20s, so, with social media, we see tweets like, men ain't this, men ain't that, or there's no men left, or the dating pool sucks. I would say change your mindset, because I used to have that mindset where I would be like, oh, it ain't no good men left, or just speaking so negatively about men. But once I changed my whole mindset about like how I view men, I started attracting better quality of men. So, it's an energy thing. So just change how you're speaking about the men that you're, that's out there.
I'll go. It's a lot easier when you pick someone who likes you. Figure out the archetype of men that likes you, and pick the best guy out of that group if your goal is a relationship. Be around people who are in a relationship. Single people, single women especially, not most, but higher degree of them than men, can subconsciously keep women single. Be around women who are in a relationship, married, looking for one. What relationship is their goal, if that is your thing. Words to avoid. Don't tell a man you want us to chase you. Huge turn off. Huge turn off. If you just had sex last week or last month, I would be careful about using the word, okay, now I'm celibate or abstinent. Like, you just had sex. I wouldn't use those words. I've seen that happen a lot. I'm like, yo, you just did what you did. Like, find a different way to phrase it. And Ashley is charging, I don't know if you're still doing the promo, Ashley, you charge $100 for a consult or $97 or something like that. I would be at Ashley's door buying all these things. She talks to women every day and men.
Mhm.
Do those things and leave the house. Get out the house. You want to meet somebody? Get out. Online is cool. Get out the house. Wear a dress. Sit at the bar. And there's a notion of should a woman holler at a guy or not. Look, if the guys you want aren't approaching you, I've had a great relationship with a couple women who approached me, and it worked out well. Now I took the reins from there. She didn't lead the relationship, but she initiated the first move, and it worked out. So, good luck. Keep the faith, and stay positive.
Mhm. And did everyone go answer that
No.
question?
I can do one small little outing. To everybody in your 20s, believe what I'm telling you. Trust Uncle New. Get out the game. I promise you. When you get in your 30s, this shit gets spooky. It gets scary. Okay? When you get in your 30s, if you're still single, believe me, there's so many different things that add to dating, right? When you're in your 20s, everything is pure. Everything is by chance. When you get in your 30s, everything becomes about what's practical and what's not. Everybody who's under the sound of my voice, believe what I'm telling you, get out the game. For everybody in your 30s, you're going to have to be very, very, very intentional if you're seeking something long term. Also, be open to the idea of getting a matchmaker. Most people, marriage will not happen for you by chance in your 30s. If you want marriage in your 30s, what I suggest for the vast majority of the people under the sound of my voice, you're going to have to hire a matchmaker. It doesn't matter if you like what I say. I'm talking from a practical standpoint. You need to be put in front of a pool of marriage-minded individuals. That's how strategic you have to be when you get in your 30s. There are a small group of people who don't necessarily have to do that, but that doesn't represent the majority. 90% of the people, you're going to have to be intentional, and you're going to have to pay somebody to help you find what it is that you're looking for if you're looking for something long term. Put aside your ego, men and women, and hire matchmakers.
Yeah.
Can I just add to one more thing? I also just want to say not to be fooled by social media, right? What we see on social media is couple goals. Make your own goals, whatever that looks like for you. Set your own goals as to what you want in your relationship and put in the work, right? Because a lot of people go on social media, they see these couple goals, they see the wedding day, but forget that the marriage is what actually takes work. So they fall in love with the wedding day, the wedding pictures, but forget that there's a lot of work that comes with actually being married. So don't be fooled by social media at all, and set your own goals and work hard in your relationship. It takes work for a successful relationship to work.
Yeah, I guess what I would chime in is that I think some ladies need to work on is not leading with desperate energy. And I think what helps with that is leveling up, like getting your body together, getting your look together. Because I think a man can smell when you want a man, when you want a relationship bad. And I think a lot of times on first dates, women have high expectations. Like, I want to get married, I want to be down the aisle. And I think that scares some men. So getting to really know a man and deciding if you like them first before you're ready to go down the aisle with them. So work on that desperate energy for sure. Mhm. Well, thank you everyone for coming
This was
up. Does
fun.
everyone have a business they want to promote, or you're good?
Yes. So I own so I have two companies. I own a candle company. It's Belly Candles. That's BELLYCANZLES. And then I've also did a video, but I'm inspired by Ashley and a few others. I started a speed dating company like back in 2016, but that page is Belly Butterflies, BELLYBUTTERFLIES
All
on
right.
Instagram.
Perfect.
Yes.
And I would say everyone just follow me on Instagram at the Simone Harris. That's TheSimone. Last name Harris, HARRIS. And no, I'm not related to Kamala Harris.
Oh no! Oh no! More,
Kamala.
more.
Okay.
I'll go. You want to go, Jess?
Yeah, sure. So on Instagram, Just Black as noted here on the screen. I am actually a host. I host events, weddings, corporate events, galas, whatever. I am a host. And I do also have a podcast, Pillow Talk with Jess, which is going to be coming out in the fall. So everybody just follow me on Instagram. And thank you so much, Ashley, for this opportunity. You're just beautiful and you're amazing.
Of course.
All right. Appreciate the floor. It's great meeting you, ladies. Brother New, of course, great seeing you, Ashley. It's wonderful to be here. Yes, for the past 10 years, I have shown people how to start up a needs-based business as a mobile notary public, taught over 20,000 people. The community's earned over $40 million so far. You can follow me at andrechatchett.com, andrechatchett.com, and we do have some promo offers available now. So hit me up and let's get you signed up. And thank you.
All right.
Let me say once again, thank you, Ashley. I appreciate you for sharing this platform with me. Once again, I think this one is another one for the books. If anybody needs to get in contact with me, my name is just as it's spelled across the screen. The best social media platform to reach out to me on is going to be Instagram. What I do is my profession. I repair credit, I build credit, and I also do real estate consultation. So my field of expertise are short-term rentals and then also tax delinquent properties. If you need to know anything about credit or real estate, reach out to me. I'm a very accessible guy. My name is just as it's spelled on the screen. The easiest way to get in contact with me is to shoot me a direct message through Instagram. And it's just as it's spelled on the screen at Official Brother New.
All righty. Thank you, everyone, for coming up. Have a good night, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Ash.
Thank you.
Have a good
You're
evening.
welcome. Of course.
Bye.
Enjoy your night, everyone.